In today's adventure, we're staying at the Wynn Las Vegas. The question is it worth the hefty price tag? Let's find out. Okay, and curtains open automatically. This is an upgraded room. Oh my goodness. So we will give you a full room tour, but I always like to give you our first impressions. And to say it's impressive to have the curtains open when you open the door is amazing. So across the way is the Encore. And over here is their golf course. Okay, so we are gonna put down our bags and we will give you an official room tour in just a moment. There's a lot to see here. This is a nice size room, I will say that. Hold on just a minute. All right, now for a proper room tour. We are in Wynn Las Vegas. This is room 3752. This is an upgraded room due to my booking this room with American Express. The Wynn is considered a fine hotel and resorts hotel, which means that there are a few extra perks. All right, starting here at the door, I want to show you that we have this panel here. So for privacy, we press this button, service, we turn everything all on. We can make it low or you can make it all off as far as controlling the lights. You have your standard locks here. And unfortunately, this is a connecting room, which of course means that if our neighbors are loud, we are going to be able to hear them, but hopefully not. And if we go from the back of the door over this way, you will see there are a couple of different doors. This one's the bathroom. You know, I always like to save the bathroom for last. Over here is our closet. Let's have a look-see. Ooh, this is a walk-in-ish closet. So you have your ironing board, you have plenty of hangers, you have your in-room safe, which you could not probably put your laptop in here depending on the size. Could probably put your iPad in there. You do have 2 luggage racks, so you have a bag for your laundry and a little extra storage space there. It looks like there's an extra pillow and a blanket up top here, just in case you need it. Then over here to the right, you have this massive mirror, so you can check yourself out before you go out. This is really huge, this mirror, and it opens up the room. As you can see into the rest of the room using that. Over here, you have your minibar situation. As a reminder, you are in Las Vegas. Do not touch anything on the minibar because it's all weight censored, and if you so much as bump it, they are going to say that you bought it. And the prices are probably really rather steep. It does say if you move anything for longer than 30 seconds, it's considered yours, so try not to do that. In the meantime, down here, ooh, yes, this is velvety. Oh, that's fancy. You have 2 wine glasses, you have 2 whiskey glasses. That's interesting. And down below here, you have a refrigerator. I'm afraid to open it, but let's see what's in it. All right, continuing on into the refrigerator. Here is the situation again. It's also a fully stocked minibar, 30-second rule. Don't touch it or you have purchased it. Now, of course, the unfortunate thing about that is if you are traveling with a young child and you need to refrigerate stuff, or you bring home a leftover that you might want to munch on a little bit later, there's no place to put it. There is no just free fridge. They have it fully stocked. Don't touch anything. Fair warning. That's my PSA for this video. Continuing on into the room, there's another panel here so that if you miss the panel over there, you can turn all the lights on. You can make them low, you can turn them all off. You have really beautiful, this is wallpaper. I just wanted to say, I wanted to feel it before I said it was wood, but wallpaper gives you a wood paneling feel, but it's not 1970s basement wall paneling, so that's great. You have artwork here. You have reliefs above the bed. You have a nice little stool here or bench so that you can sit and relax here. Over here, you have your nightstand and empty drawer there. On the nightstand, you have 2 USB ports and a plug, and you have this iPad. What does it do? It looks like I can also control the room from here. Room controls, television, entertainment, and room dining, amenities, folio, and more information. And what's playing on the TV now is their promo loop. So I can set an alarm here. I can turn on privacy. I can ask for the newspaper. I'm sure it's a digital version. Pick up dining. This week at the Wynn, and I can see the temperature. By the way, we're here in April and it's not supposed to be that warm, but it is. Coming over here, staying with the beds for a second, you have a fainting couch. You can control the air from over here, and this looks like a gigantic unit, like scary big, this unit. Okay, so we'll see how this works while we're here. Already shared the view with you during the day. We're gonna come back and show you that view at night. Look at this magical view. So you can see over to Resorts World from here. Hilton Conrad's over there. Here's the Encore out back. Tomorrow we are going to check out the pool, but just so that you know, I'm told there's no photography at the pool. So I probably won't be able to get much for you. You can see the helicopter out there doing a tour. We can see Westgate and the convention center. And then look at that beautiful, beautiful full moon. Okay, so let's just talk about the linens for a second. I'm comparing everything now to the Westin because that was the hotel to beat. Let's first talk about this. Feels like a faux leather headboard back here. These feel like, you know, pretty decent linens. The pillows are really very soft, so if you're looking for firm pillows, you might have to ask for one or double up on some pillows. Compared to the Disney Hotel, I'm gonna be honest with y'all and tell you that it feels to be about the same as far as plush and lushness goes. But we will sleep on these and we'll let you know how we feel about them when all is said and done. Of course, there's no room for a luggage underneath the bed. And this room is nothing if it doesn't have mirrors. Here's another mirror for you. And then here is a workspace or a dining room table space, two very fashionable chairs. And here is one drawer and another beneath it. So let's also look at the TV. Nice size TV, again giving you the Wynn promo. Interesting lamp here on the table. And if you are working from here, you have two USBs and two plugs. All right, coming up next is behind this door, the bathroom. You know I love to do the bathrooms last because they're usually so spectacular. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Just want to give you a full view of it before I make any statements about it. Okay, first impressions is it's nice. It's nice, large size. It's good to have a nice walk-in shower. What's disappointing is that shower head. Each of the hotels we've just stayed in, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the Westin Hotel review. I'll link that below, and also check out the DCA Villa review, the studios at Disneyland Hotel. That also had a shower head plus an attachment. So this is really surprising, and I tell you, I'm not impressed with the shower. We'll see how it works, we'll see how it feels, but just looking at it, I'm not impressed. Again, value for the money. Here you can turn your lights off, you can put a night light on. You do have a nice tub, which looks like it's not jetted, just a nice soaking tub and really nice artwork above. I do like the use of space here. I like the fact that there are 2 individual sinks. This is something I've been craving the entire trip. Love the mirrors. Again, check yourself out before you go out. Let's see, do these open? Nope, those are faux. So all of your storage is really going to be right here on these shelves. They have a hair dryer here. I still want to know why hotels think it's important to give you a scale while you're on vacation. Looks like each of the sinks have their own soap. There's already a glass here if you wanted to rinse or anything, put your toothbrush in there. There is soap here in the bathtub, and I've noticed that there's body wash, conditioner, and shampoo. Looks like it's a Wynn brand. They have some body lotion here for you. If you need to polish your shoes, if you need to buff said shoes after polishing them. There's a shower cap. Here's some cotton swabs. And then here are the necessities, as they say, an emery board. Also looks like there's some cotton balls in there. So that's a nice little touch. And there is an additional mirror here as well, as you can see there. And of course you have your face tissues, and they have a sustainability statement. So if we want to hang up our towels to indicate that we're going to reuse them, they will encourage that. As far as towels go, let's see, there's 1, 2, I am seeing a third. Again, if there were 4 people staying here, where is the 4th towel? And just a personal thing, I'm staying in a hotel, there's certain expectations, but I actually prefer one of the towel-like throws versus these, because people walk on these with their shoes on, and I've just stepped out of the clean shower, and I prefer not to step on this towel or this rug that I don't know how clean it is. I will say the vibe in here is very, very masculine. The wood paneling, again, faux, because that's wallpaper, very masculine. There are robes. I think this is, just touching this, is the nicest robe that we have seen so far. The Disney robes, the Westin Anaheim robes were just plain robes. There was no terry inside. The Disney California Disney Vacation Club robes, those had terry inside. This has terry inside, and this just feels heavier than any of the robes that we've used so far. If you have stayed here before and you want to purchase this robe, go ahead and scan that QR code. And then let's step into this room. The mood lighting in here though. So lights on, lights off. The vent is running, which is good. And it's not going to get but so bright in here. The other thing that I want to point out is that they do have these here as well for you to stand and do what you need to here at the sink. The other thing is that there is a makeup mirror. Hello. And there are outlets here, USBs and a regular outlet. There are also outlets on the wall here, and I see another one down there. So there is plenty of places to plug your hair dryer or your curling iron, your shaver, as the case may be. So here's the other thing that I really noticed about this room is that there's not a lot of storage space. So technically 4 people can sleep in this room. There's only 2 drawers and the hanging space and the cubbies that you saw in the closet. And if you put 4 girls in this room, girls, you know what just the shoes alone, you already know, where do you put your stuff? So that's something to keep in mind as well. The room is huge. The closet draw space is meh. Okay, let's talk about what we get as a fine hotel and resort American Express stay. We get noon check-in when available. We have room upgrades when available. This is an upgraded room. We get a guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout, so we don't have to leave the room until 4 on our checkout day. We get a daily breakfast. Ooh, that's nice. For 2 people, $30 breakfast credit, so we'll have to pay for 1 person. The in-room Wi-Fi is included with our resort fee. It's an additional $5 credit will be applied to our resort fee at the end of our stay. There is an unfortunate matter of $150 spa credit that I am just going to be forced to have to put that to good use. What a shame. So I'm going to do that. And then we get a special welcome amenity of $25 credit. It's only good for your check-in day, so we're gonna go ahead and use that today. Okay, so before we start our day today, I wanna talk to you about breakfast. We ordered room service. That took care of our $30 per person per day breakfast credit. Room service is, or in-room dining is one of the things that you can do with that credit, so we went ahead and we ordered breakfast. So Paul had the fried egg sandwich and I had the Wynn traditional breakfast with mini pancakes. There were 3 mini pancakes that came with the dish. I gave the mini pancakes to the little guy, plus we ordered another side of bacon, so he had bacon. There was eggs, there was a hash brown, there was toast. It came with tea, all sorts of jams. It came with 2 bottles of maple syrup, all set and ready to go. So that's what we had for breakfast. I would say they were standard scrambled eggs. They were just fine. The wheat toast was really good. It was thicker than your usual slice of toast, which was really good. Came with 2 different types of butter. It came with more of a spread and a hard butter. The maple syrup was good. The little guy can be finicky about his syrup, and he enjoyed the syrup that came with the pancakes on this day. The bacon was good. It was nice. It was crisp. The hash browns were different. Freshly julienned hash browns were in little circles, and those were really good. There were really interesting herbs and spices in there. It felt a little Italian seasoning-y to me, but it was really good. The only complaint with the hash browns is that they could have been a little bit crisper.
Fried egg sandwich was really good. It was more than enough, obviously, egg. It was black forest ham. The roll was a regular sesame roll.
So definitely we can recommend room service here at the Wynn. The breakfast was good. How were those pancakes?
Good.
Getting a thumbs up on the pancakes. So I had an opportunity to experience the Wynn Spa, and I wanted to just give you my thoughts on that. Hands down, that is one of the best spa experiences I've had in the last 4 or 5 spa experiences. I don't remember the last time I had a spa experience like that. When you check in, I think it says it's been rated 5-star by Forbes magazine, and it deserves each and every single star. Now, the reason why this is so good is that it's high-end. So all in, my spa treatment cost $354, including gratuities and all of the fees. 80-minute customizable massage. I decided what type of massage I wanted. Just the facilities themselves are so elegant, and I'm going to use the word sensual. It is just so rich and luxe in this particular spa. It's amazing. There are a lot of treatment rooms, so you should be able to get a spa while you're here. If you're interested, I would say book in advance. And here's what I loved about my spa, that it was just a luxe experience. In the women's locker room, there were 4 hot beds. There was a huge whirlpool spa. There was a cold dipping spa. I want to tell you, swimsuits were optional, so if that makes you uncomfortable, just know that before you go into this particular area. The massage itself was amazing. I told my masseuse I wanted a light touch, and that's exactly what she did. What I loved is that the bed was warm when I laid down on it, and usually these rooms are a little cool, so that was amazing. When I turned over on my back for her to continue the massage, the bed actually moved, so it was like a sleep number bed, if you will. So there was no need for a bolster under my knees. The bed curved to just the right angle, so she was able to get to my shoulders just right. When she was done with my shoulders, she put a warm bolster underneath my head. I just want to say the warm. Everything was warm. It was just a standout experience. Very high end, and this is the first time I've paid for a spa that's around $350 to $400 in a long time that I really felt was absolutely worth it. I can highly recommend this. The value that you get, the experience is worth it. And the other thing to know, you do have a spa. I would check in at 7 a.m. They are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You have access to the spa the entire day of your spa treatment, which is something that has really gone by the wayside in most spas, but this was great. It's a very elegant, high-end experience, and I can completely recommend it. Money spent versus value for what you received. Just what you would. One last thing about the spa that I want to say to you. Clap to the men. As I was sitting there waiting for my spa to be called into the back room to get changed, all of these men just walked up and the woman at the front desk said, "Are you checking in for the fitness desk?" And they were like, "No, we're here for the spa." Good for you guys. Spas are not just for us ladies. Treat yourself. We have spent 2 nights in this room and we have some opinions. So I'll start first. Let's talk about the comfort of the bed and the linens. I felt it was really comfortable. If you've been following along, this is our 3rd trip on our West Coast swing. The Westin beds, I think, were by far the most comfortable. Those beds, those pillows, these linens were just about as luxe as the Westin and a step above Disneyland. How did you sleep?
I slept really good. The bed was very comfortable, firm. I like the mattresses to be firm, and they were very comfortable. Had a good night's sleep both nights. It was plush. The room was large, plush. Just a few things to nitpick about. Number one, the electronics to open up the curtains and the shears and the remote control. They were a little difficult to get used to, and even towards the end, I felt it was still a bother rather than a convenience. So I would prefer my regular remote control. But instead it was in the iPad. I had mentioned the single shower head. I thought that was a valid point. Not having the second wand, shower head or the wand, regardless, it was still a good experience.
The other thing that I wanted to say about this room is, as I mentioned, this is our 3rd stop on our West Coast swing. And by far, all the rooms were large. All of the rooms could be considered luxury for their categories. And for some reason, this room just felt a little different, a little off. And I think for me, it's because it's a very masculine space. It could use some feminine touches. It's extremely luxurious, but very much like a guy designed this space for another guy. And that's what I felt was a little off-putting. Even the faux wood paneling, as I've lived with it, the dark wallpaper in the bathroom, it just all feels a little too masculine for me.
Just one last thing. I did mention that it was spacious. However, the nightstand, there was only one nightstand available. It was right in the middle. So since I was sleeping on the side where there wasn't a nightstand, I didn't know where I would put my phone. So I just ended up finding a nook on the side of the bed to put my phone.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say is that while there are USB plugs around the room, my wires never worked in those plugs. I had to actually use an outlet, plug my USB into the outlet, and then it worked. And then they ran a little warm. I don't know if they felt warm to you when you took them out.
Warm, but
yeah.
Hot. Yep.
So that was it. And the connecting door turned out not to be an issue. Our neighbors were nice and quiet. Ironically, when we checked in, as I mentioned at the beginning, the person at the front desk said that we would be able to hear noise from the party. And as I was drifting to sleep last night, on the 37th floor, I could hear noise from the party. So it's true, but it was not off-putting at all. So if you find yourself on this end of the hotel, you should be fine. The one last thing that I want to talk about is this hotel family friendly? Yeah. When you say family friendly, as the little guy just said, sorta. I mean, this is Las Vegas. Let's be real. Everything is very much adult geared, unless you're gonna stay at Excalibur or what's the other one? Circus. That's very over the top family oriented. But if you are looking for a space that's family oriented and still elegant, this is an option. I would probably lean more towards the Four Seasons, having stayed there as a single girl, or maybe even the Aria. I don't know. This just really feels like the elegant magazine commercial that you've walked into, and I don't know if that's family friendly. I didn't come across anything that was extra special for kids here. You're not going to feel uncomfortable. We didn't feel uncomfortable, though we did take most of our meals in the room. I felt like we went to the Venetian, we walked around some of the other hotels. It just felt a little more relaxed vibe. This is a little more high-end, uptight. I don't want to say stuffy. Don't want to say stuffy, but you know what I mean.
I think Denise was right. It's sophisticated, elegant, quiet. When we were walking around, we went to the Aria and Cosmopolitan. I kind of liked the vibe over there. There was music playing. It was a little more happening, more energy. So I think I would prefer that vibe. It's not so over the top that it's not for kids, but it was just a little more energy filled rather than the Wynn, which is again quiet, sophisticated, elegant.
Yeah. Again, you won't feel uncomfortable with your family, but just know, as far as this type of resort goes, yeah, there were no screaming babies. So if you have younglings, like really, really littles, I don't know if I'd do this hotel. I'd probably do more like the Four Seasons, something that's still elegant, but Four Seasons has more of a family vibe than this place does. So we hope that you have enjoyed walking through our experience here at the Wynn Hotel in our room. Please be sure to check out the rest of our review of our West Coast Swing. I'll link the videos that are ready for you down below. Thank you so much for watching. It means so much to us. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and it costs you nothing to subscribe. And no matter where your next adventures take you, we hope that you enjoy the journey. Bye now.